Quite interesting on set just for that amount of time. I have Esther Womboy, who is the founder of E-Baker's Creation. We want to talk about baking, the art that is baking. She'll also talk to us about her story, her journey, how she got into this, and how business has been basically even as you get onto Christmas. Just 3 days. 3 days. To siku Yesu alizaliwa. Good morning, Esther.
Good morning, Doreen. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good, fantastic. I appreciate it. I'm also in the Christmas mood, as you can see.
Are you feeling nice about it?
Fantastic.
Excited?
KBC,
the holiday season?
As you can see.
As I can see.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I hear you. We want to get into all this, but before we get even to decorating, and of course, so we have Marie and Steph will be coming in a bit later. Lazima tusherekee. As sherehe ni muhimu.
It's Christmas.
And the entire team. But just first things first, Esther, E-Bakers. Just talk to me a little about the history, when it was established, and why you got into this kind of space and business. Just quickly.
So, E-Bakers, my background is actually HR.
That's what you studied?
Yes, that's what I did in campus. Yeah. But E-Baker is a bakery and confectionery firm that was born out of passion, out of my love for the kitchen. Those people who took their home science lessons seriously, clearly.
So not just for passing exams?
Yeah, so I just wanted to learn. I'm very passionate about healthy living. So I wanted to learn how to bake bread at home, but in a healthier version. So when I was in college, I saw people decorating cakes, and I was like, oh, is this how it's done? So I asked if it was possible for me to take up a course, which I did. But I wanted to learn about the healthier side of baking, that is gluten-free cakes, sugar-free cakes. So I did that, and then after like 2 years, I actually got an award, a Commonwealth Award in 2017 for baking.
This is just after 2 years of getting to the business.
Yes.
God was on your side, eh?
KBC. I do everything so passionately. Yeah. So I used to bake cakes that are wheat free, like cassava cake, sweet potato cake, and stuff like that. But now in 2017, 2018, I decided to become a full-time baker, which was kind of by default. Maybe I'm going to mention about it later.
Yes, yes.
So I became a full-time baker, and there was that need of, okay, we've eaten your sugar-free cakes. How about you can't do the regular cakes, which I already knew how to do because I had already done that course. So I said, okay, to do the two together and maybe to have two kitchens. We have one bakery on Kiambu Road, the other one is in Syokimau on Katani Road. So we do both healthier cakes and the regular cakes.
Depending on the preference?
Yeah, depending on the preference. Kwa sababu kama ni cake, people want to go the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, you know, we want to feel the taste of the cake.
Exactly.
All right, so I want us to get into this decorating, and of course this, even as we continue discussing and talking more about this art that is cake baking, how the journey has been for you since 2015. Not a mean feat to even get into business and to just continue staying into that business. So what are we starting with first? We already have the cake. Already baked?
Yes, we baked the cake because I knew you may not have that much time. It takes some time to prepare and bake. So today what I brought you is our multi-flavored cake.
This is multi-flavored cake?
Yes, as you can see, it's in 4 layers. So that means those are 4 flavors.
Okay.
Yeah, we have...
Which are these ones?
We did blueberry, we did bubblegum, we did passion, pina colada. Those have been our best sellers since 2015, 2016. So I decided I want KBC to enjoy the same.
And I love pina colada.
Oh,
I will eat on your behalf.
Yeah, so
just before we get to the decorating bit, this you've talked about the 4, what is this?
Flavors.
4 flavors. Just when you're thinking of baking, first of all, talk to me about these ingredients and just what goes into mind. Before we get to this, smart. Talk to me about this one first.
So first of all, I know most people eat from the eyes first. Yani unakula kwanza kwa macho. But I'm very keen on, like us as a team, we are very keen on what goes inside the cake, not just the decoration, because anybody can master decor, but not everybody is able to come up with a good cake. So I'm the one
the baking bitches.
Yes. So I'm the one who've created these recipes, and I make sure, like pina colada, that means pineapple and coconut. So we use coconut, like fresh coconut and fresh pineapple. If I tell you it's blueberry, as you can see, like here I have blueberries. So we use fresh blueberries. so that we make sure that every recipe that we come up with uses fresh fruit, because there are so many chemicals out there, and like you, a regular cake eater, may not know that people are using so many chemicals. So we make sure that as much as the client is not seeing what you put in the kitchen, our integrity does not allow us to put anything that we cannot consume ourselves. And you
can actually only do this if you really love whatever you're doing and you have the passion for it and heart. For people right now, we're talking about a lot of things that we are consuming, not even knowing, and we're having all these lifestyle diseases. So which better way if you're into this kind of business of food and industry? Just make sure you're giving it.
And that's actually the same way. I'm sure you're aware that we also do like organic yogurt and Italian style ice cream. And even as much as we came up with ice cream, which is mostly sweet stuff, we made sure that we came up with the most organic way possible of making like ice cream, most organic way of doing yogurt. And that's why you find that our clients love what we do, because they know that whatever goes into our cakes is something we are free to eat and feed our families with.
All right, I hear you. Good job. So now let's get into the decorating bit. So our cake is ready.
Yes.
Just what are we doing next now? So this is already done in terms of baking.
So
what's the first step?
So the first step is to make sure that you wash your hands. So today I'm going to use my glass.
And you're donned in the correct attires for the job.
Like you don't have to wear this.
You don't have to?
You can wear an apron.
All right. What about the cape, like the one you wear?
Yes, this one we wear because sometimes you might have heard of cases where somebody saw some hair in the cake. So it's to make sure that you don't have anything dropping into the cake. So yeah. So
it's important to just make sure you're covered
for hygiene purposes.
For hygiene purposes, you can imagine seeing 6 strands of hair and you are not believing what more is inside.
And you're wondering, okay, is it? You don't even know whether it's Brazilian or Indian hair.
African.
No, I mean the leaves.
So, I hear you.
What you have here is the multi-flavored cake. So the first thing is to prepare your cake board.
Yeah, just as you have done.
Yes.
Okay.
So you just make sure that the board is able to support the cake that you have. So
it needs to be strong enough.
Yes. Oh, this is called a turntable.
The one you have there, this is the white one?
Yes.
All right.
So this is just a basic turntable that helps you to rotate the cake. Yeah, it helps you to rotate the cake. It makes it easier for you to work with the cake. So basically, we're going to decorate what we have here. You can decide to remove the crust or not remove it.
Whatever your preference is.
Yeah, whatever your preference is. My preference mostly is
to remove
the crust. I know most people don't want it removed, but I try not to force clients to eat what I prefer. So I prefer to give you, like you see, you like the crust, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to give you the crust.
It's like, the crust, like that the bread,
exactly. So we've put some cream to make sure
What's the reason for that?
Yes, I was going to tell you, it's because you don't want this cake to start moving. You see, it's not moving anymore.
It's actually stuck.
Yes.
Okay.
It works like an adhesive. So we've put the cream, and then now you place your layers. So the other advantage of baking in layers, your cake does not dry out, because the more you expose the cake to heat, it tends to overbake. So as you can see, I've started creaming already.
What do you mean by the advantage of making your cakes in layers, like what you have?
You can decide to bake this whole cake all together.
Too?
Yes.
Okay.
Let's say if you're doing one flavor, you can decide to do that. But that makes your cake dry out a bit. And also it consumes more more heat. And also it takes longer in the oven. So we try to bake in layers. Also your layers come out bigger.
If you do it in layers as opposed to just one big...
Yes, you bake it in different tins.
Yeah. All right.
So I've put the cake, the layer that I want to start with, and this is called whipping cream. There's non-dairy whipping cream, there's dairy whipping cream. This is the most common one. So
this is which kind of cream? Just as you continue
it's called non-dairy.
Non-dairy?
Yes.
What does that mean? Is it different from the ones that we are used to, or is this...
There are different types of icing. There's dairy, there's non-dairy, there's buttercream. And buttercream, we have Italian, we have Swiss meringue buttercream, we have American buttercream. Those
actually
are
varieties.
Yes, it depends on what your preference is. So it's for us now to educate our clients on what exactly you have, what varieties you offer.
For them to also know what to choose.
Yeah. So
what's that you're putting there?
Yes, in front of me I have what we call fillings. All our cakes have fillings. So that means this cake I have here is bubblegum layer.
All right.
So to go with bubblegum layer, we use salted caramel.
Salted caramel.
Yes, caramel sauce. So we prepare this ourselves. We prepare all our fillings by ourselves. So I want to put this caramel sauce here so that when you cut the cake, it adds some oomph to your cake.
This like adds some flavor?
Yes.
Okay, because I've not really quite seen.
Yes, they are different.
Oftentimes you just see the cream and cake on top of each other.
Now for us, we don't do that. We make sure that your cake is extra. We are extra.
You're extra.
Yes.
And these are of different types. This is a different
types of fillings. The reason I have different types, I told you I have 4 flavors here.
Okay.
So it's to complement the 4 flavors.
Oh.
So I'm going to put the salted caramel and just spread it so that when you cut the cake, it has that extra flavor in it. Okay?
There's something about it.
Yes. I told you we are extra, right? So we've put the bubble gum. This is...
which flavor is this one now?
This one is pina colada.
Okay.
You're wondering how I get to know them?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even tell which one is this.
I'm used to this. By looking at it, I can tell.
You can tell. How do you tell?
Like this one,
because they actually all look the same.
No, they don't. This is off-white. This is a little yellow because it has passion fruits.
All right, all right.
This one has
a bit of
sprinkle. Yeah, this one has sprinkles because it's bubble gum funfetti.
Yeah, I did notice it has. It has.
So, and also I'm used to looking at this. Yeah.
So you know.
Yeah.
And there's also something I'm noticing in how you are placing the cakes. There's a, the way that you bake your cake. So the part that normally is.
You're very keen.
That's the part that you're using to, spread the cream.
Yes.
Why is that,
Okay,
Esther?
because when you bake a cake, most of the times it gets a dome. That's one of the reasons we trim.
And
a
you need to
dome
also make it really quick because we are beginning to get strapped for time when you have to finish.
Sure. The dome is usually kamlima kenye kanakuwa kwa keki.
Kama haka.
Yes.
Kamlima ndio hii. Sijui kama wanaona hiyo kamlima.
Exactly. So you prefer to put the flat side up.
Okay.
That's what I've done.
All right.
So I'm going to put another layer. The reason I didn't put in the lower layer, it's because I didn't come with fresh pineapple because ingeanza kuferment kidogo.
Oh.
Yes.
So for each cake, the fillings
are different.
Different as you go.
Yeah.
All right. So this, which one is this one?
This is now passion.
Passion.
So I've put passion card.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you have to actually prepare all this pre.
Yes. Because you can serve it hot.
So it has to prepare it, let it sit for a while.
Yes.
And then you come when you're doing the fillings.
Exactly.
Okay. And of course this would make sense why you're using now the other side.
Yes.
Because now you're done.
Because I want the flat side up.
All right.
Then now we go to the decoration.
So now talk to me about, the whole idea of actually having the creams around. Sometimes you especially in the cakes of these days, you'd realize, I don't know if they call it skirting or what is it, the cream is not so much as how it were. You see the way you're just doing it?
Yes.
As is.
Semi-naked.
That's the word I was looking for. Semi-naked cakes. Yeah.
Now the reason is preference. Nowadays people, they don't love too much sugar. Kitambo it was...
This is actually a trend. You even go to weddings, you realize, mbona hii keki haijamalizwa kupakwa cream?
Yes.
But it's actually a design.
Yeah, people don't like too much sugar. If you want me to do this in semi-naked, I can do it that way.
I think we should do it in semi-naked.
Sure.
Yeah.
So people have that preference and it is okay to have that preference because people don't want too much sugar. I think basically it. And also it's a theme called rustic.
It's a what?
It's a theme called rustic theme.
Okay.
Rustic, like rusty.
That's how it's called.
Yes, it's called a rustic theme. So, so basically you just put a layer and then you scrape it off. You leave a smooth edge.
As is, as you're seeing. Actually, that's what you're seeing on your screen.
Yes.
Ukienda harusi uone keki na kadi ka unaona keki ni ka unaona cream. This is what it means.
Si cream tumekunyima.
Actually. The time I saw it, I was like, mbona huyu hajamaliza kupaka cream? Then you realize it's actually a design of the cake and going by the preference of the client. Yeah. That's what they want.
Like now, we're going to do that, and we are still going to be able to put some decor on top, like Christmas.
Even as is, because again, you realize when it comes to cream, mtu atakata keki, atatoa cream, arushe huko, akule keki. So this way again, also part of why it's quite necessary.
Yeah.
All right.
So
then what are we doing next?
Bench scraper. You can either use, this is called a palette knife. You can use a palette knife to smoothen your cake or a bench scraper. For me, this is the most important tool in my bakery. I use it for so many things. For cutting, for smoothening. Can you see what I'm doing?
And it's in plastic,
Yes, this is plastic. It's not even expensive. I wanted to
see how it's looking on screen. Yay!
So this is how easy it is. Now the problem is somebody is going to see me doing this and wonder, so why are you charging me so much? And you've done it in 5 minutes.
And that's why we began with the baking bit. Much as we just touched on it, on the base, the base, but you realize it's a lot of work. And also making those fillings, you just do not...
Exactly. And also, it took me a while to be able to make it this fast.
Yeah.
So basically...
To learn the ropes of it?
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's not everybody who is able to decorate in just 5 minutes also.
True.
So it took a while for me to get here. Because somebody might wonder,
I mean, since 2015, you know, it's not a short time.
So
it's been a long time.
Exactly. Yeah. And for me, I love decorating cakes. I love baking as well. But I enjoy decorating more because baking is more a repetitive process.
As opposed to decorating.
Yes, decorating, we do custom-made cakes, like wedding cakes. And you see, every cake is different from the other. So you find that they're all different, and I feel like it gives me that time to think of getting
when
creative.
You are into decorating.
Getting creative. You see, you can actually have it like that, but I'm going to add some...
You can actually have this cake the way it is.
Yes, but I'm going to add some Christmas colors.
Yeah, because it's a Christmas season.
Yes.
And I'm also seeing fruits. What do we need this?
Now, those ones, we can place them on top. Most of the time...
What about also the blueberries?
I'm going to pour them on top when I do the piping.
Okay.
We call it piping.
Okay.
So I came with Christmas colors, and I'm going to show you how you can enjoy your cake without having too much of artificial things on top.
All right.
So this is green whipping cream. It's the same thing, but in green.
But in different colors.
Yes. So
I'm going again for decoration.
Yes. So I'm going to pipe it all round, as you can see.
Oh, the Christmas colors. Yeah, green is a Christmas color.
So as I said, you might wonder, you did it in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
it takes a while.
Why would you want to charge me 60, 70?
It takes
Some even
a while.
go up to 100 and beyond.
Yes, especially for wedding cakes. They take a while to prepare because there's a lot that goes into wedding cakes. There's something called dowelling. There are some things you find inside a cake. Zingine zinakaa miti, some look like straws or something like that.
Tiny balls, is it?
No.
Inside the cake?
Yes, zimesimama hivi. Like it's to give support to the cake.
Oh,
yes.
Because also how big they normally are.
Yes, and because you're stacking them up, iyo kuekelea gorofa. So I want to decorate the top bit of it. So what I'm doing, they're called rosettes. You want to try?
Why not?
Come. I want to see how much you've mastered in those few minutes.
And I'm not donned in the correct...
Just do your thing. Cake is an art. Okay, you need to squeeze some more. Okay.
Some more.
See, you're getting it.
Yay.
You're such a fast learner. Ni vile unaogopa.
Sijava gloves kama wewe.
Yeah, but you're really doing it so well.
Yeah, and that was very fast. So then we can add some more around here.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That actually takes some people some time to master.
You mean?
Yes.
All right.
You're such a fast learner.
I did well.
Yeah, so I'm just going to add some decor here so that I'm going to add some fruits on top and I want them to hold.
We're talking about these ones now.
You can add those ones. We can add the blueberries because the top layer was actually blueberry, if you remember.
Yeah. So how do we do the blueberry? How do we do it? I want to also do that one. Now that I've realized I can actually do it.
We call it a dam.
All right.
So I've created like a fence outside. So I want you to pour these blueberries hapa juu so that the person who cuts this cake, they get to enjoy this plus the top layer.
So I pour it round anyhow?
Yes.
Anyhow?
Yes. Just make it decorative. That's it.
This is quite interesting.
You see, you even know how to spread. I wish you haven't been a baker.
I try.
Okay.
I actually do try. Lakini natoanka imeungua. Hapo chini.
You need to reduce your heat.
And I want us to also, if you have time, we'll talk about that because I also saw some questions that Kenyans were asking in respect to this baking. But why is my cake sunken? You know, some of those questions,
Sinking sana sana ni kwa sababu ya
I feel tu nimefanya kiamateur style.
No, it's okay. Sinking is mostly maybe you opened the oven when the cake was not even halfway done. Or Let me see. Yeah, mostly banging the oven, putting too much liquid. Too much of one of the liquid. You know, there are eggs, kuna maziwa. Kuna wenye onekanga maji.
Yeah,
if you put too much
essence
liquid,
if you're doing the essence.
Like no, not essence. Essence inekangwa kidogo sana.
Kidogo sana. Like a half or a quarter, depending on how you measure. And the size or
usually, okay, the mistake people do in baking.
To actually make it sunken, mostly.
Shida yenye watu wanafanyanga na baking ni kufanya measurements bila recipe. Like, you
so
bake
that's the
without
first thing you also need.
You need a recipe.
Like you're making pina colada.
Yes.
You know this is what you need.
Yeah,
these are the correct measurements.
Exactly. Like for a 1 kg vanilla cake, you need to know how much, let's say, how much sugar goes into it, how much flour. So I want to use these fruits because we decided we're going with the rustic theme. It's good for us to add some fruits because we
to make it look more.
Yes. So.
So you're telling me that that's one of the biggest problems there, or issues that you do not really measure.
Yeah.
So then when you're measuring, you really need to have your measuring.
You need a weighing scale.
What about those basics?
You can use measuring cup.
Measuring cup.
Imagine they're not expensive.
Use those to measuring cups.
Yeah, they go for about.
Si measure at your ancestor tasema, you know the way you do even salt.
Some people when I tell them you use a measuring cup, ananiambia ile kikombe yangu ya chai.
No, that's not the one you're talking about.
Sasa unajua kikombe ya chai kuna zile za mabati za kitambo na kuna hizi za siku hizi, so I don't know which one exactly you're referring to. So you're going to use.
I think at this point I'll actually also wear the gloves.
Yeah. So that you can.
So that I can also
get to decorate.
Yeah.
See, I've given you a free lesson today.
I'm telling you, I'm not even paid. And actually also do training.
Yes, we do. We train. We have lots of people we've trained. Just paste them so that looks uniform.
All right.
Yeah. When you're baking, cake baking is an art. So you just get creative, provided it looks good. So we do training.
What pleases your eyes?
Yes. We do trainings for yogurt, for ice cream, we have baking classes.
Aki mimi yangu ona cream inashika
because you pushed it too hard.
Really?
Yes.
So I just need to place it.
Yes.
Na zangu zimekaribiana sana.
Yeah, you look at the first one that you put. That's what is going to guide you on how you put the next one. Sasa umeanza kuogopa kuwekelea.
So nani zikitoka nje.
Your cream should be what supports the cake. Yeah.
The fruit.
Yeah, just place it like that.
See why they charge how much they do?
Yeah.
It's because of some of these things.
Exactly, because once I train you,
you can be able to do it now.
Yes, and also I make sure I mentor you until you've perfected.
Yeah, because you also do mentorship.
Yes,
Talk to me a bit about that as well, Esther.
So let me say, first of all, my training was born out of realizing that it took me so long to perfect my art.
Yeah.
Because you can even put down here.
Here?
Yeah. Because people are not like that. Let me show you. I tell you, baking is an art.
It's true. Too.
Yeah, just place it in a way that it's going to look
supported
beautiful.
By the,
right. So I realized that it took me so long for me to get where I am because not everybody is very generous with information.
That's true. So people just want to know by themselves, eh?
Yeah, they will teach you one thing and what they do something different.
Outshine.
Yes. So I thought, I wish I knew all these things that I know today.
Wow.
What if I do? You see?
Yeah. Hey, now Steph and Marie, where are you? Stephanie and Marie.
So I was like, what if?
Should come on board now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, what if somebody else, you don't have to put this, it's going to be too much, but I always have extra.
Yeah. We are here.
You can. Umekuja kukula.
Came right on time.
Wow.
The business that brought me here. Steph has come right on time.
Yes.
Wale wageni wa Christmas wanagonganga tu hiyo asubuhi.
Unaona, she just waited.
Maria, right on time.
I could not miss this.
You didn't want to be part of the process, but you want to be part of
the eating.
It's all right. Mkoengi, by the way.
Reminds me of how we keep saying in this generation of ours.
Yeah. One more
if there's something you want to do away with, is the process of things.
I'm telling you, they like shortcuts. But it's okay. We are here for you.
You know, with the cake, lazima iende hapo mahali and we are
Haiwezi kaa hapa pia kwa hii meza.
Tengeneza wote.
And if you've noticed, I'm trying to move everything. Okay. Hygiene is very important so when you're doing any kind of.
Ukishamaliza,
you just clean. For us, we believe in clean as you go.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we like cleaning as you go because the next person who comes must leave the place as clean as they found it or even better.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
Do you have another? Yeah.
Amazing.
Looks so nice. Doreen has
Looks like you can eat
She
it.
said she wanted a semi-naked
learned a
cake.
new skill.
Yeah, I've learned a new skill of decorating.
You know?
She said
So
you
even-
learned a new skill. She came to it.
So even as you have like, is it 5 or 6 minutes we close the show? I mean, it's also a good time to just do some reflections. You know, Marie closed us off and we're also closing again. And it's a good time to just reflect before we close the year. Marie, what are you grateful to God about? What are you grateful to, you know, just Mamaliza 2022?
Definitely,
Yeah.
2022 is coming to an end just like that. I mean, it was January
Yeah.
2022 and all that. So I'm definitely grateful for a lot, but most importantly, I'm grateful for life.
Yeah.
I'm grateful for good health. I'm grateful for family because some of these things that there are things that you cannot buy with money. You know? So in as much as we are grateful for this job that God has given us, we are able to take care of our families, but we're also grateful for those things that are free.
It's true.
So I'm totally grateful for the opportunities, family, and just good health.
Well said, well said.
Yeah, and I agree with Marie.
Yeah.
There's so many things that we share. Actually, everything. Grateful for life, for good health, the things that we take for granted most times. And even hope, having hope, because, you know, people have died by suicide, depression, there's been so many things. But the fact that I have a hope for future, tomorrow, despite the failures during the year, and just coming back up and knowing that things will be better, that's something I'm also grateful for. And for just God, everything, for all that God has provided for
And
me.
you know, Stephanie, you just said something, failure, but I think I'm older than you guys. So.
Really?
Wisdom.
Yeah, look at life really as failure, but these are just challenges. So it's just a learning process. Nobody has ever been successful without, in quotes, failure. So
It's true.
It's a learning process.
It's true.
Yeah, and
True.
something more so as we say, we celebrate, but also for our KCP candidates who
Exactly.
just received the results. It is just telling you something else needs to be done to get to where you want. So
Exactly.
Yeah, you know, when Marie said I'm older than you, it actually just reminds me of how I honor you for that, because you see, sometimes we tend to overlook people that have gone before us and ahead of us, and I always keep saying you can never undo a process. And you must always appreciate experience. I keep saying you might think you know it best, and yes, you could be talented into things, but those that have gone before you, trust me, they know so much.
talent is one thing, experience is something
different.
else.
It's true.
Today
It's
you're
very
here
true.
doing the baking and all that. I mean, the last time I baked, okay, fine, a little bit at home, but on a serious note, when in school, we're doing home science, you have to do the exams, that's the end of it. But I cannot buy that experience.
Exactly.
You have to go through the
It's
process.
taken time to get
That's why I
there,
always
of
say,
course.
for those that have always gone, I usually honor them. It's very important also just be in the midst of someone who's been there before, you know, like you, Marie. You know, some of these things that you do, like you say, talent is a different story, experience that is a whole different trajectory. So for that also, and for this opportunity to be here, to still be on this show, the growth, for me especially the growth, I'm just grateful to God about that. It's you don't take such things as such for granted. And for those that believe in you, you know, we usually say just take someone to believe in your ability.
It's true.
And the moment they do, you run with it like you'll never run with it again.
Like you did.
I feel like I did. I choose to run with this ability. And I'm grateful to God for that. You know, just for the what all of you have said, very important. Grateful for life. Because I mean, also without that life, how would you run with this opportunities? So again, it's also one of those very important things. And family, the things you can never exchange for anything.
Family.
Family is family.
Things you
One of
can't
them,
buy.
health.
Esther, as before tukate keki, jo lazima tukule keki.
Oh, you want me to know? So what I'm grateful for so much. Like have a business that I've been able to sustain this far. Most importantly, I'm grateful because God has given me amazing students that keep motivating me every day to keep going. I've been able to mentor over 700 people all over the country and train them. For me to see that I'm able to change a life, create employment all over the country through my skills, for me, I'm really grateful to God for giving me that platform to be able to empower people, to inspire somebody to change a life. And also So to save so many, because I told you also I'm into advocacy when it comes to gender-based violence.
We'll talk about
So those are my students as well.
We have to finish at this point, and we have to cut the cake.
Yeah.
We have to cut the cake.
You have to make sure you've done that,
yes,
right?
Yes, before we actually close. But we're closing just like, what, 45 seconds, and we have to do that before we close.
So
Esther cuts the cake.
Yeah.
Maybe a word for our candidates, especially the ones who are going to have finished Form 4. You know,
you can just...
there is this notion that I have to wait, go to college, then probably to university, then I'll get employed. But this is something that you can actually learn and earn a living out of.
Sure, and doesn't require you to have a degree.
Yeah, Esther just said, you know, her practice or her career was HR, but this is now what she has chosen as her career.
This is what has... I don't do HR anymore.
Yeah, this is now what sustains you. And look at the millions that you're now touching as a result of this.
Exactly. Help me hold this, the board.
And that also means parents need to really
be supportive to that.
And encourage people. You don't have to do an office job, because it's not everybody who is passionate about doing office jobs. In fact, kazi ya mikono inalipa sana. You can work anywhere in the world, you know?
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. Because you just carry a skill, eh?
Yeah.
You can still have your career and still do it on the side.
Yeah,
Who said you can't do all if you have...
You can even do all. Because
They
That's
are
not to cook
super
a cake. Where's the
pattern.
it can be a wholesome person, very
you
true.
should have to use this.
Wow, amazing. What a way to usher in Christmas.
And end the show.
And end the show. We are ready.
Alright, so tushamaliza kukata keki, sasa tunataka
Kula ndio sana.
Wow. I was waiting for
You're welcome.
and whatnot.
No, I don't think she's ready for that.
She's been waiting.
She just wants to eat.
Okay, wow.
But lazima aonje chumvi kwanza before wapatie.
Yes, ndio.
Yeah.
It's true. Iko sawa, sasa unaweza kula.
Wow, thank you.
What happens at times, we find that some cakes, when if the cream is bitter, what normally happens?
Too much color or using cheap colors. But I also discourage people from using too much color when it comes to baking, because most of these colors are not really exactly organically obtained. So if you can, you see, she said we do a semi-naked.
And
if you
it's
can
lovely.
reduce as much as chemicals as possible,
Yeah.
the better. So that's why they end up being bitter. Yeah, I think it's mostly color. Yeah.
Mostly color.
Yes.
Did you tell us about the sunkenness of the cake?
Yes, I told you it's about using too much liquid, banging the oven when the cake is not even halfway done. You should open the oven at least after like 30 minutes of being in the oven. And most ovens have a light, so you can see through how far the cake has gone, so you don't need to open. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Esther. We
Thank you
really do
too.
appreciate,
I appreciate
your time just talking to us about this art
Thank you,
that is
appreciate.
baking. And of course, there's so much you
Appreciate
could have conversed around, but we are really strapped for time, and so we have to cap it at this particular point.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, highly appreciate your
I'm grateful to be here,
time
and I
for
look
this.
forward to many more, talking much more about even baking and entrepreneurship.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
I'm grateful. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you to you too.
We have been having this conversation, the three of us, the four of us. Actually, just talking about the art of cake baking, a good place to end this particular conversation and ultimately this segment. And also, good morning, Kenya, for the year that has been 2022. We always appreciate you just waking up with us 6:30 all the way to 10 a.m., tuning in, sending your comments, appreciating the work that we do. We do not take that for granted at all. We say thank you. From me and on behalf of the entire team,